Hey, Meg here with SPKN, the Sport Professional Knowledge Network. Today we sit down with Marine Scout Sniper and co-founder of Warriors Rise, Matthew Brakeman. Matthew brings leadership lessons from the intense, high-stakes world of the Marine Corps to the Warriors Rise program. As a co-founder, he seeks to deliver a holistic, life-changing program that goes far beyond skill development, teaching young men the importance of focus, decision-making, and leading with precision. Matthew Brakeman, welcome to SPKN.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Glad you were able to make it. It's freezing. We have a nice fire back here, but it is cold.
It's North Idaho.
Yeah, well, there's that. Yes, beautiful, beautiful
what we do
campus.
here.
But okay, so let's hear about Matthew. Tell me a little bit about growing up.
Oh man, grew up in an all-Army home. As my father was a very committed professional soldier, and did 22 years in the Army. Would have done longer, except he broke his back and his neck in '79, about 3 years after I was born. Myself, my oldest sister, we were born in Germany, southern Germany. He was a Special Forces troop for Army Special Forces. That name gets bandied around a lot and gets incorrectly used sometimes, but he was actually in the unit, Army Special Forces, in 10th Group, down there in southern Germany when I was born. And broke his back and neck in a jump. They were experimenting, and they were doing their first series of free falls. He was a static line jumper. And so broke his back and his neck, couldn't be in a jump billet anymore in the Army. And so we moved to the States.
Was he able to walk afterwards? Or?
They said that he wouldn't be able to. They said that he was going to be at least, I think it was six or 9 months of bed rest or something, and he might regain the ability to walk. But yes, he actually, he didn't spend much time in a wheelchair. He was, he was back at it within a couple of years, but he still couldn't be on a jump billet.
Yeah.
And so they put him as the staff non-commissioned officer in charge of an ROTC program for University of Idaho down here in Moscow. So we ended up in Moscow, Idaho, and so that's where I spent from about 4 years old to 10 years old down there in the Palouse. And it was interesting growing up in that household.
Any siblings?
Yep. Yeah, I've had older brother. He passed away about 2 years ago. I've still got three sisters. I've got one sister that's 12 years older, Tracy. And then my sister Tanya, she lives over by Seattle. She's 6 years older. And then I have a 12-year younger sister, very late baby for my mom, Tiffany. And yeah, she's got three of her own now and is married to an Air Force guy. So, like I said, a very Army-heavy family. Yeah. And I decided to be different and joined the Marine Corps when I was 17, and partly because something my father said to me when I was about 16. Oh. And challenged me, used a little reverse psychology and told me I would never make it in the infantry and certainly not in Rangers or Special Forces. Turns out he did the same thing to my brother. When my brother died, he had 36 years in the Army, so it worked on both of us, apparently.
Yeah. Why the Marines?
Partly because my dad hated him.
Oh.
As a Special Forces guy, all I heard as a kid was that Marines were cannon fodder and various other things. But I remember on my 7th birthday was the day of the Marine barracks bombing in Lebanon, in Beirut. And I remember his reaction to it because he just retired. And I remember he was furious. And even though he, talked trash about Marines, I remember his reaction to that. And it made a really strong impression on me. Yeah, that's partly why I chose a career in the Marine Corps. Well, not career, sorry. I did 4 years and change in the Marine Corps in active duty, and then went to work as a firearms instructor and doing executive protection in Las Vegas. And because I had become a contractor right when I got out. So while I was in, part of the way I thought that I would prove my dad wrong was not only would I go infantry, despite the fact that they were trying to recruit me for intelligence and other stuff, because I spoke German and I scored pretty high on the ASVAB. And they said, oh, we can get you bonuses for all this. And I said, no, I want to be infantry, because I had a point to prove.
Right. Let me prove Dad wrong first.
Had to prove my dad wrong.
And then we can get down to business.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. I chose the path. I wanted to be a scout sniper in the Marine Corps, because I thought, one of the things he had told me is you don't like to do hard stuff. You just want to have fun, which was true, certainly. But I had to prove him wrong, so I figured, well, I'll choose not only one of the hardest things I know of to do, but also I knew the implication that I didn't want to go to combat. I didn't want to, I didn't want to engage in direct battle. So I was like, well, Marine Scout snipers are pretty well known for training their folks up to, to kill the enemy. So I had always wanted to be a pilot, and that was why he made the comment he did, was I wore an Air Force Academy shirt to his house. And he let me know what he thought about that.
Gotcha.
He said, oh, you don't want to do the hard stuff. You just want to have fun. You want to go fly airplanes and blah, blah, blah. So, but he said, you will serve, because that's what Brakemans do.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Did you play sports growing up?
A little bit, right up until freshman year, almost that same year. Mm-hmm. Freshman year was when I just dropped it all and just committed myself to, more military. Mm-hmm.
Did they have like ROTC type programs going on at that time?
Not so much, no. At least not in the schools I went to. Mm-hmm. Up until freshman year, from fourth and fifth grade into freshman year of high school, I really enjoyed football, playing football. Mm-hmm. I was a Bears fan also, so I enjoyed watching football.
All right, yep.
But especially during that time, this was still like, Peyton, Perry, mm-hmm. Your Singletaries, and Tom Zach later on, McMahon, of course. So I was a big football fan. Loved playing baseball, not so much watching it, and I loved hockey too. Yeah. Hockey and I was learning to love soccer, but it wasn't really a thing up here. Yeah. Soccer was for women. That was the
yes. Well,
women
we have
and
to do
girls.
something.
The real football. It's like actual football. So I actually learned to love soccer more than any of the other sports that I'd previously grown up with. But about freshman year, I just there was a whole bunch of incidents kind of leading up to it, fairly traumatic stuff that it's like. You talk about identity a lot. Yeah. My identity really I allowed those traumatic incidents to kind of define who I thought I was, or who I thought I was going to be, and who I wanted to be. So that's when I went from being exactly what my dad described, soft. I went from being very soft, very sensitive, very, and I thought that was a good thing. And during that time, I decided, if I'm going to be who I want to be to make my dad proud, I've got to be something else. I can't have sensitivity. I can't have emotions. I can't have compassion. And so I decided, okay, well, I'm going to prove him wrong by, again, becoming a scout sniper in the Marine Corps. So I succeeded in that after my first deployment overseas as a rifleman and squad leader when we came back. By the end of the 6-month deployment, I was a squad leader for 1st Squad, 1st Platoon, Kilo Company, 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines. I was very proud of that. But I was still on this course. Mm-hmm. I want to be a scout sniper. So when we got back from the deployment and the opportunity popped up, I volunteered to go to the scout sniper platoon, or what we called a state platoon at the time. It's a surveillance target acquisition platoon. It was a little more innocuous than scout sniper platoon. But I was there during that transition from being called state platoon to SSP for scout sniper platoon. So anyway, I made the indoc with another little guy. We were 2 of the littlest guys in the indoc, and we both got selected for the platoon. 2 other guys made it as well. I'd love to make a historical shout out to them, Green and Metcalf. They were studs, and they rocked that in-dock, and they were told by their commands they were too critical to their command to let them go. And so they went through all of that and got sent back to their home units and weren't allowed to go to the platoon, which is just shattering. You see that happen to a Marine, and one of them did. He had a full meltdown the following weekend and was kicked out of the Marine Corps, basically.
Really?
And, yep, put in jail, actually. He got very intoxicated, got into a fight, and out in town, and just destroyed, who he thought, and he was a prior cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing how a decision like that can change just the trajectory.
Yep. He felt so cheated and so mistreated that he just went out and just wrecked it. And so, very good Marine, too.
Yeah.
Just heartbreaking. The other guy did quite well, and he was just kind of accepted as, well, okay.
Yeah.
Just continue to do what I can.
Did they have a chance to go back? Does that ever happen?
Well, you could, yes. But a lot of that decision, pretty much all of that decision to keep him at his mortar platoon was made by his platoon commander and platoon sergeant. So once that command changed, there was always a potential for him to cross back over and come to the scout sniper platoon. He ended up not doing that. But he still made he still did a lot of good stuff.
You mentioned identity before. Is there kind of an identity situation where these guys went into sniper school and they wanted to go that route, they were called back? It's not just whether you're a Marine or Army, it's what you do in there as well as what platoon you're connected with, and there's millions of identities within, say, the Marines. Is that right?
Right. Well, at least 176,000 or so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like anything else in life, there's every single one of us has an identity, and it's unique to us, and thank God for that.
Yeah.
But we briefly touched on a conversation earlier off camera about boxes and cans, and how there's a lot of boxes the world would try to fit you in and stuff you into. And, personally, I believe in a God who does not fit in a box. I mean, he breathes out stars. He breathes out everything that was ever created. So it's like, I'm pretty sure he's not going to fit in a box.
Yeah.
And he created us in his image, so we're not supposed to fit in a box either. And we don't.
Yeah.
As hard as we might try sometimes to do it to ourselves and other people. And so in the Marine Corps, everything is very, very structured, of course, and very ordered, human ordered. And so, when you set out with a goal like that, to be a part of a unit, whether it's the SEAL teams or something in the Marine Corps, Ranger, Special Forces, Air Force Pararescue, whatever, and you set out with this, you set this high bar for yourself, and you really want to get there, and you don't. For a lot of guys and gals, that is just earth-shattering. It breaks my identity. Well, this is what I was going to be, but now I can't be, so what do I do now? And in Neil's ministry, both to veterans and to those aspiring to go into active duty, and not just military, but all first responders and, just humanity in general. Yeah. That's one of the key points that we really try to get through to folks that we're ministering with. I say ministering with because it's not one way, it's relational. And they're ministering to us as well. And we're learning often. I tell people, I go to instruct a class, or do a training, I learn more from them than I am able to give during a training. And so one of those things is that, man, if your identity is in anything else but the one who made you, like not your earthly father, not your earthly mother even, as much as they love you, your Father in heaven loves you more and custom made you. And that's where your identity comes from.
I want to take a moment to give a special shout out to Boulder Creek Retreat. They provided an incredible space for me and our guests to escape the noise, reflect, and recharge, while also creating the perfect environment for our collaboration. If you're looking for a place to elevate your leadership and foster deeper connections, Boulder Creek Retreat is a fantastic resource. Check them out at bouldercreekretreat.com and see how they can help you and your team grow stronger together. A lot of times athletes have trouble with having this identity that is associated with their sport and not within them. And so if you have something that is bigger than yourself and bigger than what you are doing at the moment as your identity, you then can carry that throughout everything. And when that thing is associated with the values that you hold and is integrated into your goals, you're able to then go from one thing to another and not have to reinvent yourself, which a lot of people tend to do when they stop one part of their life, whether it's retirement or getting hurt or having to go from the military into what do you call the rest of your life when you go from when you graduate?
Generally call it retirement.
Okay.
After.
But you guys don't actually retire
service.
ever.
I don't know many who did. No.
Yeah, so it kind of goes along with you. So I think that's a really good point. And having leaders that actually can help you build that instead of just your persona while you are in. Right. I often wondered if in the military, it seems like they break you down and then build you back up. We've heard that a million times, right? Mm-hmm. So as they're doing that, do you feel that you have less of an identity availability? So like for an athlete, okay, I'm a football player, but I'm also pretty good at biology, so I guess I could be a biologist or, you still have a little bit of peripheral. You guys have to be so focused, and this is life or death situations. So I would think that you kind of have a little bit less of an option there. If you're not going within yourself, right. Which is why it makes so much more sense to go that direction.
Yeah, no, I think you said it about as well as it can be said. And that's, you talked about integration, or you mentioned integration. If you don't have integrity in the most fundamental sense of the word, like not just truth-telling, but integrity in the way of like a bridge or a dam has structural integrity. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't have integrity, it's not going to last through storms. It's not going to last through floods or earthquakes. And we're no different. And I think if your identity is not integrous in the truest sense, then you have cracks in your foundation. Mm-hmm. Inevitably, when trials come, when struggles come, stuff's going to start falling apart, and the beams and the roof can't stand without a strong foundation. It's sort of like a house built on sand.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you have a strong foundation, then when they break you down and build you back up, that can still survive.
Absolutely.
That. Okay,
yep.
that was my main question.
Even if the house doesn't stand, if the foundation is strong, you can rebuild on that foundation. And to me, that's what Christ has done with me and a lot of my friends, is taken something that from the get-go, was not sound. Yeah. An identity that was not sound. It was stuff that we adopted or took on or were given by a world that's very, very prone to assigning an identity. Mm-hmm. And a lot of us are very prone also to accepting that or to going the other way, kind of like I described with my father's. My father had implied an identity to me, and I wanted to prove him wrong. So I went completely the opposite route and tried to prove him wrong by proving my worth and proving my capability and, proving that I was strong and that all these things. Despite the fact that I was asthmatic, colorblind, horrible feet, breaking my feet all the time, et cetera, et cetera. So in that we can do that in life in so many ways, trying to prove an identity or trying to take on an identity that's not truly ours. Mm-hmm. It's something that somebody else decided for us, or we decided, I can be whatever I want to be. No, not really. You're you. You're you. You're who you were created to be. And when we're not satisfied with that, we want to try to find ourselves. We want to try to go and search ourselves out somewhere else. Well, you can never be where you're not.
Yeah.
You're right here. You're right here in this body. And when you're not at peace with that, that's disturbing. Mm-hmm. And you're going to feel like, an animal struggling in a suspended net because you have no founding. Yeah. And so, until you find that strong foundation to found your identity on, because you're not the one actually building it, he builds it. Mm-hmm. God builds it. He built you the way he did for a reason. And until you find peace with that, life is hard. Life is really difficult. And so what I feel like God did for me and so many of my friends was took this house that was rotten and falling apart already. It was just we were putting plaster on the walls and putting up art on the walls, trying to make it look better. The sort of, coarse phrase, but lipstick on a pig, trying to make this thing look good. It's still a pig. Yeah. or in my case, a pigsty. And, he washed it away. Yeah. He washed it away completely and rebuilt it. And now I wouldn't want to be anyone else. There's no place in my life or my wife's life, and we're trying to teach our kids that there's no place in their lives for jealousy or for pride, because I didn't build the house. Everything I have is a gift from God. That includes my profession. That includes my name. That includes the breath in my lungs. That includes this present moment sitting here with you and being on camera, which is super comfortable for me. But it's a gift. Yeah. And so if we treat every moment we have as a gift, we treat every breath as a gift for his glory, not for our glory. The house isn't beautiful for my sake. The house is beautiful for the sake of everyone who sees it and everyone who gets to spend time in the house and fellowshipping and eating, breaking bread together and having conversation. I mean, this is an amazing gift to me. I pray it's a gift to you as well.
And me, yes, absolutely.
And to, everybody else who might ever see or hear it. I just, when your identity, again, is on that foundation, you're free. Yeah. You're free. You have nothing to fear. You have nothing to be jealous about. It's all his. And it's an awesome thing. There's a lot of freedom in that. There's a lot of liberty. I use the two words distinctly for a reason. It gets very misinterpreted in our current culture. Yes. But there's a responsibility that comes with freedom. Yeah. And that's using your freedom to enhance freedom for others. It's we live in an amazing country. We were talking off camera before about how thankful I am anyway to be an American citizen, to be born as an American citizen, even though I was born overseas. I am so thankful every day to be born an American, because here we have legally protected rights and liberties that are free to us, but very expensive, very costly. Yeah. And that's much like, Christ set us free. He set us free. And he washed away our sins if we will accept it. And one of the beauties of accepting that freedom is also taking on the responsibility of letting other people know about it, and also trying to set others free who are enslaved, whether that's physically, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, or otherwise. So anyway, sorry, I know that's a long answer to a simple question. But
that's great. I'm going to follow it up with a very specific question. Would you say that your father was kind of your first leader in your life?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
How was his foundation?
That's a great question. My father, from the other kids, the older kids, and my mother, and his first wife also, mother of my first, my older siblings, they knew a different Morris. Morris was his name. He went by Brake most of the time. That was the identity given to him in Special Forces was Brake.
Got it.
But the father that I knew was different from who each of those, like I said, my predecessors knew. Because after Vietnam, he was one of the last two Special Forces troops out of South Vietnam right before they raised the NVA flag over the embassy in Saigon. He was actually one of the ones doing it's got an area study, but prepping rooftops and all that for the evacuation that they knew was coming. So he came back. He had 4 tours in Vietnam. He was very, like I said in the introduction, very committed. And he shed a lot of blood and a lot of tears there. And, now I relate better, of course, Afghanistan and other parts of the world where we've, put a lot of effort and talent and lives. And he came back very angry. I knew him as a very angry man. And I never really understood why until, of course, years later.
Right.
But when I later was able to, it was a real gift, able to reconcile with him, I became possibly, one of his very closest friends. After I got out of the Marine Corps, after I was done doing other stuff after I got out of the Marine Corps, he moved up here, actually, to Eastport, North Idaho. And that's where he spread his ashes, was off the Moye River up here in Eastport. And he was so much more free toward the end. But he never, until, it's a long story I won't go into, but he never, until the very, very end, as he's literally on his deathbed dying, never embraced Christ. I think for many of the reasons that I did not for a long, long time too, is he knew he wasn't worthy. He knew he had done things that were unforgivable, as did I, as has everyone. But he was running from it. And anytime I would bring up the name of Jesus in his presence, he would let me know exactly what he thought about that. Up until the last couple months, as we were helping him along after he had a pretty severe heart attack. And so, again, the father that I knew, did not have a strong foundation. His foundation was completely founded on the United States Army and on being a Special Forces troop. And that's why he wanted myself and my brother to go the same route. He wanted us to have the same foundation he had, which, that's humanity. It's understandable. And so in that context, I can understand a lot of the things that happened as a kid and a lot of the traumas that, we saw as kids or experienced as kids. My older siblings got more of that than I did. But having grown up with that, we all were very aware that a lot of his anger was a result of his time in the Army. And so when I got out of the Marines and then, of course, came to Christ years later, I really got passionate about helping people who were experiencing that same kind of slavery to, again, an earthly identity. And, I was struggling with it myself, still do, on a daily basis. But that process of learning where our true foundation lies, rather than trying to build a mansion on sand, truly, or even a cloud, for that matter. Really, really unsound founding. So, so the question of whether Dad had a strong foundation around it was strong in something that was not him, because when he retired, after he broke his back and neck in '79, it was like he was still very much a Special Forces troop. That was his identity until the day he died, pretty much. And when you found your identity on something that's completely in the past, that you're no longer currently doing, it's like, what do you do now? Now you're just surviving. You're not living.
I think that's important to really understand, because I think, obviously not at the same level, but athletes go through that when they are always a football player. Right. And they're always trying to get that fame back, and they're always kind of chasing, and it's too bad, because they have so much to offer.
Absolutely.
And so one of the things I really wish coaches and teachers in building people up through sports in school is that they recognize what the skills are that they're actually teaching. It's not just football.
Right.
It's not just, be to your teammate what is a, quote, good teammate. Well, why?
Right.
Tell them why so that they understand that these are skills that you can take through your whole life.